Hey, so I wanted to make a quick video going over mics as a VTuber, PNGtubber, and honestly anyone really. I'm just going with my niche for the algorithm. I'll be going over types of mics common in the streaming space, why you would choose one type over the other, and finish with mic recommendations. This isn't going to be an in-depth technical guide. This is meant to be more of a starting point to help you find what best fits your use case while on a budget. I mean, look at me. I'm the definition of budget. Being a VTuber, I think good audio is the most important thing to get right. And one of the most common questions I've seen around various forums is, what kind of mic should I buy? Don't get me wrong, the OG Halo and Modern Warfare lobbies were hilarious because of the Xbox mics, but nowadays that's probably best as just a bit. The best part is, you don't even have to spend that much to get some decent audio. While the setups sound great, you don't have to spend $800 from the get-go on a Shure SM7B with a Go XLR or Rodecaster just for a hobby. Anyway, I'm sure you've seen mics like the Blue Yeti, HyperX Quadcast, and Elgato Wave 3, right? These are condenser microphones. These are generally more sensitive, capture a higher frequency range, not that great at background noise rejection, and are best suited for a treated environment. That being said, you can use things such as NVIDIA Broadcast, filters and processing, and practicing good mic technique to help, but we can get into that in another video. They also need phantom power, but that's not necessarily the case for USB mics, and for XLR mics, most interfaces have it anyway. On the other hand, you have dynamic mics like the Shure SM7B and SM58, the SE Electronics V7, and the Samson Q2U. And these are, well, the opposite. They're less sensitive, they capture a smaller frequency range, much better at background noise rejection, and are best suited for a live environment. These are the mics you see in radio broadcasts and on stages. What determines whether a mic is a condenser or dynamic is the type of capsule that actually captures the sound. There are other mics such as ribbon mics, but I haven't done my research on them to find their best use case, and the prior mics are the most common you'll see when it comes to streaming anyway. That being said, mics come in many different shapes and sizes and have their own use cases. Some examples are the various stage and broadcast mics I'm sure you're familiar with, lav mics if you're up and about for something like a cooking stream, and shotgun mics if you don't want something in your face and want a very directional mic that captures what it's pointing at very well. You know those sound guys on sets that are holding a boom arm with the mic at the end of it? Those are shotgun mics. So now that you hopefully have some sort of idea of what kind of mic would fit you the best, here are some additional things to look out for. Polar pattern. This refers to the direction the mic captures the most sound. For most of us, cardioid is what to look out for. This means the mic will capture what's in front of it the best, but not as much from the sides or back. Most mics best suited for streaming will fall in this category anyway. For example, I'm using an SE Electronics V7, which is a super cardioid dynamic mic. If I were to turn my head and say something like this, it would be much quieter. And to pick up my keyboard sounds, I'd really have to smash my keyboard, which is like a foot or so under it. So I'm smashing my spacebar right now. And then there are USB and XLR mics. USB mics are plug and play. You'll have to replace the whole thing if something goes wrong, and there's no real upgrade path because you're limited to just what the mic can provide. As for XLR mics, you need some sort of audio interface, which makes for a more flexible setup, but it makes it generally pricier. Another thing to look out for is the frequency response graph. That gives an idea of how pronounced the highs, mids, and lows of your voice would be when speaking into the mic before adding any sort of EQ or anything. There are more things you'll find on a mic spec sheet, but there are other videos that go much further in depth when it comes to that kind of stuff. Finally, here's some mic recommendations under $100. If you have a pair of headphones that you like already and want to turn them into a headset, there's the V-Moda Boom Pro if you have headphones that have a 3.5mm jack already, and the Antline Mod Mic if you want to slap a mic onto the headphones. The next mics will be combo XLR USB mics. This allows you to use it via USB at first and have the option to go the XLR route if you want to down the road. There's the Audio-Technica ATR 2100X, the Fifine AM8, and the Samson Q2U. Note that the prices might not reflect current pricing depending on sales and all that, and you'll need a mic arm to keep the mic close to you as these are all dynamic microphones. Lastly, here's a XLR budget setup that's a little over $100. There's the Behringer XM8500 with the Behringer UM2 audio interface, a mic arm, and an XLR cable. Note, each mic does have their own pros and cons, so I highly suggest watching reviews so you can see, well, hear how the mics sound in certain situations. Podcastage is my go-to. He has the most thorough reviews and a lot of tips on his channel as well. I'll put a link in the description down below. To outro, I'll throw in some examples of what the mics I have sound like with and without processing. This is the Samson Q2U via USB without any processing or anything. And I'm like clicking, smashing my keyboard, and doing all that. This is what the microphone sounds like. Okay, now I'm on the Samson Q2U via USB with filters on and OBS, and this is how the mic sounds while typing normally and clicking. Okay, now I'm on the Samson Q2U via XLR. I have about 48 dB of gain going in, and this is without any processing. I am talking to the mic, I'm smashing my mouse and keyboard, and this is how the microphone sounds. All right, I'm on the Samson Q2U again, this time with processing on XLR again with about 48 dB of gain. I'm talking, I'm smashing on the mouse and keyboard, and this is how the microphone sounds. Okay, now I'm on the SE Electronics V7, same thing, 48 dB of gain via XLR. This is how the microphone sounds if I'm smashing the keyboard and clicking while talking. Last but not least, back again, SE V7, 48 dB of gain, this time with processing on. This is how the microphone sounds with me smashing the keyboard and clicking again.